He's done 5 million in sales the last 30 days. And in this video, we're going to go over ASD strategy for this coming year in 2024. And this video will probably be prevalent for future years as well. We're going to talk about his event, Business Growth Hacks Live, which if you're going to ASD, you should definitely learn about that and consider going to his event too. So this is Eric down here, Amazon Lit, if you guys don't know who he is already. And then we'll also be talking about Miami Sellers Conference, Amazon Lit. Him and Sebastian are going to be there, which is, in my opinion, the most fun Amazon event of the year. We got a yacht this year, and I'm joined with my co-host, Taylor Jones, right here, who has done 1.78 million in sales the last 12 months. So welcome. Well, let's do a podcast. Let's call this a podcast. Welcome, because I want to put the thingy on. Hold on. Freaking out. Welcome to the Amazon Savages podcast.
Welcome to the Amazon Savages podcast. Hear the stories of Amazon sellers crushing it in the game and keep up with the latest strategies that are working. Sit back, relax, and remember, if you truly try and work really hard, you will make a ridiculous amount of money selling on Amazon.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Eric.
Yeah, excited to be here, fellas. Always nice to catch up, talk shop and go back and forth, man. I'm fucking pumped.
Heck yeah. So I guess a lot of people are probably watching this video because they're searching ASD and maybe they don't know who you are. They probably do know who you are, but if you want to briefly introduce yourself, your story, and then maybe give some ASD strategy and why people should go.
Yeah. So for anybody who this is your first introduction to who I am, my name is Eric Castellano. I've been in the e-commerce space for about a decade. Been selling on Amazon for just as long, and our primary business model is wholesale with some like brand exclusives, private label. I mean, very hybrid, arbitrage as well. So, and our goal is to just continue to crush year after year after year after year, as well as provide as much information to help people just like you crush year after year after year after year. And that brings me to going to ASD, because my first time going to ASD, fellas, was like 2000, maybe 13, 14. I mean, I was fucking lost at this event. I had no idea. I was super young, inexperienced, didn't know where to go, who to talk to, what to say. And I basically wasted a bunch of money going out there first time and just kind of aimlessly walked around, So I think it's important to go into any trade show with a game plan, right? And like a specific list of suppliers you definitely want to talk to, and then kind of navigating the show with that list in mind, so you definitely connect with certain companies.
Mm-hmm.
How have you guys seen ASD change, Eric, over the years? I'm sure since when we said 13, or when did you go first?
Yeah, it was maybe 2014, probably my first ASD.
So you must have seen it change a lot, like since then. Are there what have you seen, and what would you tell people like that are thinking about going for maybe the first or second time to look out for? Because I know that when I went, not only was it a lot of suppliers, but even the ones that had the brand name products, I remember thinking to myself, I definitely bought some stuff I probably shouldn't have. So what advice do you have for people that in order to pull the cream out of the crop when it comes to like focusing on the good stuff?
Yeah, I mean, your goal should be going there with the idea that you're really only going to secure maybe 2 or 3 solid accounts, right? It's not a volume game when you're going to these trade shows. You're not trying to connect with thousands of suppliers. You really want to target, and pinpoint those 2 or 3 accounts that are really going to help you grow your business in the year to come.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying it sounds like that a lot of that research is done beforehand. It looks like
100%. I'm going into their registry of all the companies that will be exhibiting, and I'm popping them open and sending them emails previously. Hey, I'd love to get a catalog. I'll be in Vegas in 6 weeks. Love to stop by your booth. Excited to see you. So kind of establishing that relationship prior, so when you go there, you're not just a nobody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, that's definitely how it was. I remember, I think you went, Avery, when we went together. We're just walking around it's massive. It's really massive,
Yeah, and I had low incentive to really get into wholesale back then, because I had
grind hard, well done, sir.
I had restricted inventory popping, and my book business was thriving. But I was like, let's just go hiking, dude. Let's go back. Let's go out in Vegas, find a trail. But It does kind of feel sometimes like you're like crabs at the bottom of a barrel. I get this feeling when I'm at library sales and when I'm like at an ASD environment, any room where there's a ton of Amazon sellers and there's also like potential to land deals and products. Like, how do you combat that? Like, how do you make yourself stand out? Do you go incognito? Do you tell them like you're not an Amazon seller? Like, what value do small Amazon sellers bring to the table for these guys?
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest misconception of like, I think less is always more at these events, right? So like, I'm not going up to this a booth and giving them my life story, and because that's not really how sales work, right? Typically in sales, because you're selling yourself as a service, essentially, as a customer that's going to bring them value by spending money. So I mean, in sales, typically the more you talk, the deeper you dig yourself in a hole. So I like to just walk up to them and ask them thought-provoking questions to get them to do all the talking, right? Because the goal is get the catalog. That's the name of the game. Get the wholesale catalog, and you research it when you get home.
It's kind of like the game, like dating advice, basically, like stay mystery.
Yes. Yeah.
I did a bad job of that, Taylor.
Obviously, if they start asking questions, then you provide more information. But I always think less is more.
Give me your best-selling ASINs right now. That's what I said to this girl last week, and she was like, "What the fuck?" So okay, let's kind of take a step back and let's put us, or like not step back, but like reverse the roles. Let's empathize with the people, the vendors that pay to go to these events. If you're a vendor, what are you thinking when you see all these people go by? Like, what percent of them are Amazon sellers? What are you thinking when an Amazon seller comes up? What type of Amazon seller do you want to work with versus not want to work with?
Yeah. I mean, and I know from firsthand because I've exhibited at ASD as a vendor, right? And I know what we're looking for is typically people with experience, right? I'm not looking for that brand new seller who doesn't understand the vocabulary, doesn't know what a case pack or a G10 or like all those fundamental words and vocabulary that we use in the day-to-day. Like if you don't know that, you immediately look at experienced, and when you look at experienced, the wholesaler immediately thinks like lots of questions, they're never going to spend any money, and it's not really
what's the best way to get up to par with that, like as quickly as possible?
Place an order, spend money. I mean, invest in the relationship, their businesses.
I'm saying like, what's the best way to prepare so when you get to ASD, like this terminology, like case packed, net terms, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously e-sellers or I would be a great opportunity, but if you're not in there, then just consistent consuming of Amazon content.
Yeah, go to Amazon Let's YouTube channel, link it below. Put all those videos on 3x, 2x, and just blaze through them.
Buy inventory too, because when you buy inventory, you have to figure out how to make
that's true.
How to problems come up, and then you have to kind of figure things out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, but here's the thing, right? I've been going to ASD for 8 years now, twice a year. So 15 or 16 times I've been, right? And you guys just said it, right? Your last AD experience, you kind of got discouraged. You said, fuck it, I'm going to go hiking, right? But me, I stayed at the show. Last year, I found 2 new suppliers that generated over $3.5 million in sales revenue in 2023. So, I mean, like, it's really how hungry are you at these events to put in the work that's going to secure the relationships that are going to grow your business in the months and years to come.
So as far as your story goes, I actually was talking about you the other day on our podcast. We were talking about Jameson and his come up story. I know that you and Sebastian started from nothing and you really bootstrapped your business. I wish you guys would have filmed more back then. Like, I wish you would have pumped out the content you're pumping now back then, even though probably no one would have watched it. But now you would have had that, like, you have pictures and stuff. It's cool. But you know what I mean? Like, kind of tell us a little bit about your story and what really got you into it. And, you're doing 5 million every 30 days. It just doesn't even sound real. Like, it just doesn't,
Yeah. I mean, well, when we got into this business, the goal was to never build one of the biggest, wholesale companies in the United States. It was never on our radar. It just kind of happened because the way Sebastian and I operate, and I think a great way to operate as an entrepreneur, is we're always looking for how we can improve, right? And how we can optimize our setup to be more efficient, in turn, putting more money into our pocket. So through those changes that we've made over the past decade, I mean, we've just seen consistent growth year after year after year. And don't get me wrong, there's tons of trials and tribulations through the process. I mean, I got a team of 50 employees now. It's a living and breathing organism. Um, but I mean, it's fruitful at the end of the day, or else I wouldn't keep doing it.
Yeah. What how have you guys, this is how many years have you guys been doing the BGHL, Eric?
So this will be year 4. I'm pretty sure same as you guys with the Sellers Conference, right? Year 4 for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. How have you guys how has your event, well, actually, let me go back. What was the first inspiration where you guys wanted to, like, yeah, we would love to get people together in an event format? And like, what was the first year like, now planning to go into the 4th year of your event? How has that evolved? And kind of what do you guys, you and Eric, or excuse me, you and Sebastian, like really like use that? Like, what's your like kind of like not motivation, but like, what do you guys think is most special about your event?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, the reason why we started Business Growth Hacks Live 4 years ago was we went to a networking event ourselves. It was ClickFunnels, and it was just so cool. The camaraderie. I mean, you guys have been. I know. I've seen. I think I saw you at one, right, Avery?
We both went, right, Taylor?
I didn't go.
Yeah.
I went with, who did I go with? I went with somebody.
I remember seeing you there. Anyway, I mean, it's like for me, it's the marketing event of the millennium. I mean, it's changed my life tenfold. I mean, just the energy in the room, and then to top it off, like Russell Brunson has had such a huge impact on me.
Taylor, you were there. Taylor was there. I
remember. No, I did not go to.
I swear to God, bro, I was sitting there.
No, you were
Vanessa
with
spoke, and I remember thinking like she was. I was like, we should get her to speak at our event or something.
No, because Tony Robbins was there. Not sorry to interrupt you, Eric, but Tony Robbins was at ClickFunnels, and I didn't see.
No, my bad. I thought you meant BGHL. We went to. That's what we're talking about.
I've been to BGHL, not ClickFunnels.
Yeah,
my bad. I missed that. I didn't know we were talking about ClickFunnels.
Yeah,
it's all good. Anyway, that event changed my life, and I was like, we need something like that in the Amazon space. And there came BGHL. I mean, first year is maybe like 100 people. And we rented out this little space, and now 4 years later, we've rented out a much larger space. And I mean, the foundation of the event is obviously the focus is education to optimize your business growth, and then networking and community as well, because you guys know how important it is to surround yourself with like-minded individuals.
100%. What do you think is like the number one thing you've gotten out of, let's say, Miami Sellers Conference, out of like a networking event, specifically Miami Sellers Conference? What do you think? Because I know you were so supportive, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Early years, just seeing all you really knew me as is like the bookseller traveling the country. I went to your house, interviewed you there. Yeah. And you're like, this guy's throwing an event. And I really appreciate you having the confidence to come through. That helped sell tickets the first year.
Yeah.
What have you gotten out of Miami Sellers Conference?
For me, it's the camaraderie. It's the establishing, meeting the people who I've been messaging and have been messaging me for years and years and years on social media, and I've seen their business and watched them grow, and then being able to make that physical in-person connection and really learn more about them as individuals. I mean, for me, has been absolutely game-changing.
Yeah, networking, man, that's everything. I remember, like, it's always every spring, like even last year, I look back where I was like last January, and then going and having our event and like just being forced into the force field of networking. And then it's just, it's always a huge increase for me as well.
Yeah. Eric, did you notice a difference in like, I guess like the type of attendee from the first year through compared to like last year, the conversations you were having, or are they more or less consistent?
You're saying at the Miami Sellers Conference?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely have the younger community, because more of them are, arbitrage, booksellers. So I really love that it's like the new generation, right, of entrepreneurs. You're talking 18 to 30. And there's obviously other age ranges, but I would say, and you would probably agree, that that's like the demographic of people attend. And I think I think that as the events have gotten more advanced and more people have gone, I think the conversations have gotten more intense and more detailed and more growth oriented.
Because I remember the first event, there was a lot of people like, oh, I don't even sell on Amazon yet. Oh, I'm just getting started. And then I remember last year thinking, holy shit, I'll just talk to some kids. They're like, how much you selling? And he's like, oh, I just started a few months ago. I'm doing
Yeah.
$250,000 in sales. And I'm like, whoa. Like the level of attendee just shot up. And we increased our prices 5x from the first year we did it. And I think that has something to do with it. And that's why I'm really excited for this year, because the ticket prices are about the same as last year, but last year was fucking amazing. The attendees we had.
Yeah. And we put together something special for everybody, right? So they can be able to have the opportunity to attend both events, because
yes, sir.
As the three of us know, we're firm believers in getting around and traveling and networking and investing in ourselves. And we encourage all of you to do the same, because that shit fucking works.
It does. It does. And that's the only reason why I do the events, not to hop on my soapbox, but the only reason why I do Miami Sellers Conference is, number one, because Taylor had the inspiration to do it with me and the balls to do it, honestly. But number two, even before we threw the event, I went to these book selling conferences, Turn the Page. They don't do them anymore, but that's where I met Caleb Roth, who's a mentor to me. Honestly, it's probably how I ended up meeting you, because I hung out with those guys so much. I was cool with Reezy and Caleb before Reezy threw his event, whatever that was, when Gary Vee was going to show up or whatever. We were waiting for him at the Airbnb. And then I met you and Watch Me Amazon there. And so I've just gotten so much ROI from networking, so I know the power of it. And but yeah, anyway, you guys can go to miamisellersconference.com/BGHL. And this is an exclusive offer. It gets you an incredible discount on both tickets. So you get 30% off both. I think it's only $594 for access to both tickets, which is actually cheaper than buying one ticket to Miami Sellers Conference right now. So that gets you access to 2 tickets to both events. Your event's going to be going down Sunday and Monday, right?
Correct. Sunday we have a networking event, and Monday is the event. Yeah.
And that's the 10th and 11th of March.
Correct.
And then just a few days later, we kick it off March 15th in Miami. So if you guys want to commit to 2 weekends of networking with top Amazon sellers, definitely take advantage of this. Not a lot of people know about this link. So this is a exclusive way to get really cheap access to both tickets.
Yeah. Yeah. And think about it like this, right? You can sit at home, continue to do what you're doing, and nothing changes. Or you take this. You take this risk, right? It's really not a risk. It's a calculated risk in yourself, and you invest in the airfare to ASD and meet with suppliers and network at BGHL, and then fly to Miami and do the same thing all over again with a completely different group of entrepreneurs. I mean, to me, it sounds like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, Eric, because you guys have, of all the people in the industry that are doing coaching and groups and stuff, you guys probably have one of the most extensive networks of people that you're teaching. What are, like, for the people that you've seen go through, like eSellers RI, into your inner circle, what have you seen as like the maybe top 2 main characteristics or personality traits, or just things that like distinctively set those people that are willing to invest and like actually take their business to like, huge levels? Like, what would you say those characteristics are?
Yeah, I would say one, they're yes people, right? It's like they get a suggestion. It's obviously they sometimes want to know how it's supposed to be implemented and the reason why, but there's no like, oh, well, no, we don't. It's like, yes. It's like, okay, you're suggesting I do this because this is what has worked for you based on your experience. And I know when I implement it, it will help me grow. The answer is yes, I will do what you're suggesting of me. So that's number one. And number two is the consistency, man. I mean, the people who show up, like we have live weekly calls, we have events we host all over the world. Like the people who are consistent on those calls, ask questions in the private group, show up to our events. I mean, they're the people that I'm shipping the $1 million, $2 million a month awards to, because they get the results.
Yeah. It's a proximity thing, you know, like you pay the money, you can take that leap step, get closer. I know Kingpin paid to be part of your guys' inner circle, And then I literally moved to Salt Lake. Like that was one of the reasons I wanted to, to get close to him. Dude, my business went freaking 10x. Like after like I remember one night we were hanging out. This was in February of last year, and I was just drilling him with questions like about everything, And literally like 2 months later, I just like you said, like did everything he said to do, and it's crazy. It's like I feel like it's way more simple, the success formula. It's just
And what's interesting about that is like, I know we've talked about this a little bit, Eric, but sometimes it's exhausting when people ask you questions. Sometimes you're like, oh my gosh. But this is my theory. I think sometimes it's actually like super fulfilling when people ask you questions, and other times it's exhausting. And I think the difference between these two people is the intention behind why they're asking the question. I think some people ask questions genuinely wanting to know the answer to what they're asking, which is what Taylor was doing in that situation. Like you had a goal in your mind and you were asking every genuine question that appeared in your soul to get to like what you thought was the right path. But then I'm actually guilty of this. And this is why I actually recognized myself doing it one time because I was being kind of lazy, like learning wholesale. There's questions you ask simply because I don't even know why. It's like you just want like
you should be asking that.
Respect, or you should, or you just want to verify that the opportunity is real. And like I get these all the time on Instagram and YouTube. And it's just like you can tell the person's not really asking a real question. It's like a question you can Google. It's a question that why the fuck would you like? You can tell they're not actually really thinking about it. And I've caught myself doing that a few times. And usually when I'm asking those questions, I don't actually want to pursue the business that I'm going after. And it's like, oh, I'm just asking these because I should be, or because whatever. Like, I don't really know why, but I find myself being extremely like, it's so rewarding when a kid is like asking you question after question after question after question, but they're asking the right questions. And you can tell they've done research. And even if they're completely brand new, they're digging. And like, you can tell they're going to get fucking results, So, versus like, I don't know, just like these weird questions you can Google, you just get this feeling like, it's almost like I get these DMs, man. Let me see if I can find it. I got this DM the other day. I'm like, this isn't a real question.
Yeah.
Not a real question. Let me see if I can read it.
In your guys' community, or like, have you seen, I'm sure like a lot of people go to you for help, but I'm sure like you guys have like some type of place they can come, or even at the events. Like, have you seen a lot of like people in the community helping each other? Yeah,
man. I mean, the Facebook group that's been open for our eSellers Ride program, it's now almost 5 years. I mean, year one, 100% of the questions were answered by me and Sebastian. Year two, 80%. And now year 5, I mean, maybe 20% of the questions are actually answered by me. They're all answered by community members.
Wow.
Yeah, so this person DM'd me. They said, do you know someone doing like $1 million a year selling on Amazon? I'm like,
I know like 50 of them, 500 of them probably.
You watch my content, bro. Like, why are you asking me this?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why they're asking, but anyway. Yeah. So that pisses me off.
And also, I think a huge indication of people who win and take action is when you invest in yourself. Like you, for example, Taylor, right? Like you moved to a brand new fucking state and had this opportunity where you're sitting across for someone who spent tens of thousands of dollars in a mentoring program, right? And you're like, hey, I get to pick his brain. Or like, for example, you travel to an event, you go to BGHL, Miami Seller Conference, right? You're financially invested. So, I mean, you burned the bridges. It's like, I have to get something out of this to get an ROI. Or if you pay to be in a inner circle or mentorship or course, like, I think those people perform better than people who are just looking for the free shit because there's no financial commitment on your end, you know?
100%. Pay to play.
Pay to play. You got to pay to play out here.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's definitely true.
That's why I'm so pumped for this year. It's just like the attendees are going to be so good that me and Taylor don't even really need to do anything.
Yeah.
We just got to get them in the room. Get all the attendees in the room. We could fuck everything up. Audio could suck. Speakers, slides don't work. Who gives a shit?
I mean,
like,
it's not going to, though. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if that happened, like, we could just be like, fuck it, guys, let's talk. And everyone would be like, and it would just be amazing.
Yeah.
That might even be a better plan. Just get everyone in the room and be like, guys, and like open up a champagne bottle.
We have nothing planned.
Let's get it. let's party.
I mean, they're both going to be an amazing times. You know, it's the reason why I've committed 4 years in a row to go in Miami Sellers Conference. Same reason, you know, we've committed to putting on BGHL 4 years in a row is because it changes people's lives. You know, and you guys see it firsthand. The people who come year after year after year, they have stories that amaze you. You know.
Yeah, friendships too, and also like the sponsors of these events. You get to meet like the owners of these companies. And everybody was using what was it called? Seller Investigators last year.
Yeah.
That really surprised me. They sponsored Carbon 6 sponsored, and then all of a sudden everyone's using Seller Investigators and they feel like they know, you know, and then like everyone's cool with Seller Amp now because they get to meet the developer, the owner.
Yeah.
Like it's really cool.
I know Eric, you guys have invested a lot of money in your own coaching with like the ClickFunnels community. What is something that, you know, because I think it's cool that you guys take your own advice. You're not just telling people over here to invest. You guys also are investing in yourselves. What's something that you've like has allowed you specifically, or maybe you and Sebastian, from that community, or maybe another coaching or person that you got proximity to, that has allowed you guys to like grow personally or in your business like 10x over the last like year specifically?
Yeah. I would say it's two things, right? Whatever, Russell Brunson taught me this, whatever you think your most magical nugget of information that you want to sell for the most amount of money is, give it away for free. You know, like whatever that fucking just nugget that's going to leave people's jaws drop that you think you should be charging X amount for, give it away for free. Because what it's going to do is build trust with your viewership, and then they'll buy anything from you.
Yeah.
So that would be number one. And then number two would be raise your prices. If someone's willing to pay $500, they'll pay $1,000.
Yeah.
Roger that. Prices of Miami Sellers Conference tickets going up soon then, baby.
Yeah, no, that's everything. Yeah, I love that. Trust. That's really cool.
You know, because what you do when you raise your prices is the customer is going to spend, you know, $100 to $600. They're the customer who's going to send you an email in 5 days like, hey, I need help, and can you jump on a one-on-one call with me? And, you know, can you hold my hand? Can you come to my house and make me a baked potato? Well, it's like, no, we can't. I can't do that for $600. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim Ferris says like the worst customers are always the lowest paying.
Yeah.
Like I bet if you looked at your Amazon complaints, it's always the cheapest product. Or I bet you were the cheapest price at the time when they complained. Like somebody dug through all the merchant fulfilled offers and found you, and then they're like, "It's taking 3 days to get to me. What the fuck?"
Yeah. But it's tough because as new business owners and new business starters, you don't have the cash to put into, you know. So I mean, a lot of that initially is just learning from the free stuff, which becomes complicated because it's not organized.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people that watch free content though, and this is the thing I love about free content that you just never hear from for years. And then all of a sudden they come out of the woodworks and they're like, "Hey man, like I've never talked to you before. I'm doing 97,000 profit a year selling books," and I'm just like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah,
and that's rewarding too.
Cool.
So,
yeah, but yeah, we're excited to see everybody at the 2 events coming up.
Heck yeah,
it's gonna be dope.
You gonna be on the yacht?
I mean, I'm thinking about it. I'm on the fence.
Hey, get Sebastian on there. We'll do whatever it takes. We'll get you guys jet skis, whatever you need to get on that boat.
I'm on the fence. You'll know soon. I mean, I can't speak for. I would say Sebastian's probably not in, but me, I'm like 80% there.
It's fun, man. Ask everyone from last year. Like I mean, it's a good time, and it's like by that time everyone's relaxed. We're just chilling. It's day 2 of the event. We'll be departing around 6 from the Hyatt on the river. So just go downstairs, get in the yacht. Couple hours.
Well, I mean, after 6 days in Vegas and 3 days in Miami, I might need a little boat trip.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know. I don't think we can swim this year, but that would be dope.
Yeah, it's hard because like they have stupid rules where like if you're doing like a private boat, you only can have 13 people, and if you're doing one of the big charters, like they can't let you swim because it's like
too many. Yeah, too many people out there.
That would be wild. 150 people swimming off of a massive boat. We need
Yeah, that'd be kind of sketch.
We need to get in touch with someone that's got like a mega yacht or something.
Shark Attack at Miami Sellers Conference.
So,
Yeah. Oh, and
Attending-
also too, if you have any questions about either of the events, please feel free to message any of us or leave a comment below this video. I mean, we're happy to provide any additional information as well.
100%. And with that, thanks so much for coming on. You guys go to MiamiSellersConference.com/BGHL. That's going to be linked below, as well as Amazon Lit's YouTube channel. And you can slide in the DMs on Instagram. Much love. Thanks for coming on the pod, brother.
I'll see you guys. Adios.